This is for the lovers in the house. Tafuta penzi lako, mshike kwa mikono, mwangalie ndani ya macho, mpeleke kando na umwambie, commit a crime and I'll be your defender. Overpower me so that I surrender. I wish I could be your saliva, so that I could taste your lips whenever. I envy your hipster, vile inakushika kwa maha. Kwa kweli manzi umebarikiwa, ndio maana tunaimba hallelujah. I wish I could be your shoe, I would have such a beautiful view. And if I was the slit on your dress, my goal in life would be to aim for the highest. If only I could be your body lotion, I would walk with undivided devotion. Kila siku nakufikiria, ndio maana nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Miaka rudi miaka nenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Kila siku ya kalenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Chochote utafanya nitafuata, nitachora 8 ukichora 7. And I promise I will never be a player. You're my red card, no longer middle fielder. Be my wife and I'll be your bogey bender. And let no man try to lay asunder. Na wakijaribu kutulay asanda, Mungu moja nitawapiga ngeta. Na kama ungekuwa ngoma, ningependa kukuwa amplifier. I will amplify and equalizer, paka ata matiuta sitachuna. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Miaka rudi miaka nenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Kila siku ya kalenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza. This comes from the deepest part of my heart, the deepest part of my heart. This comes from the empty hole in my soul, the empty hole in my soul. This comes from the highest point of my spirit. If you know what I'm saying, then you will feel it. Feel it. This comes from the deepest part of my heart, the deepest part of my heart. This comes from the empty hole in my soul, the empty hole in my soul. This comes from the highest point of my spirit. If you know what I'm saying, then you will feel it. Feel it. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Miaka rudi miaka nenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Kila siku ya kalenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Miaka rudi miaka nenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza. Kila siku ya kalenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
love, yo, pima kama neno kwa speech. Do the thing about Checkney, his 2 eyes have seen too much. He's never given up for giving up sake. Still believe in destiny, but don't trust fate. The straw man to break the camel's back didn't now wait. The devil's in his ear, like listen MC just break. Hakuna mtu anangoja updates up. Wakiuliza how are you doing, wasema very well. Do they pay you nowadays to kick it? Very well in a box of beats. How's that going? Well, very well. Can we kick it? Yes, we can, and very well. Wakiuliza how are you doing, wasema very well. Do they pay you nowadays to kick it? Very well in a box of beats. How's that going? Well, very well. Can we kick it? Yes, we can, and very well. Come the man of steel, cause he's still at it. Kama Clark Kent bila kryptonite. Qbigi tuna hypnotize at it kadre. Tukileta beats, sort of tofauti. Ni see headphones, ni beats is a box off. So welcome to right now, this gift and your presence. Your presence is our present. The essence of forever is right now. Keep your mind clear, go very well right now as we speak. Leonie memory right now as we speak to. Leonie memory right now as we speak to. So, Wakiuliza, how are you doing? Wasema very well. Do they pay you nowadays to kick it? Very well in a box of beats. How's that going? Well, very well. Can we kick it? Yes, we can, and very well. Wakiuliza, how are you doing? Wasema very well. Do they pay you nowadays to kick it? Very well in a box of beats. How's that going? Well, very well. Can we kick it? Yes, we can, and very well. Can we kick it? Yes, we can, and very well. Can we? Yes, we can, very well. Can we? Yes, we can, and very well. Can we? Biggie the box, we can, and very well. Can we do this thing? Very well. Can we do this thing? Very well. Can we beatbox and steps? Very well. Can we kick it? Very well.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Muda wako umewadia kuja dandi.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Power Morning Drive Show with me and Wanyoike. And we had promised you that we were going to have a conversation with the lawyer of Sharon Otieno's family about the Obado case and the aftermath after he had been, confirmed guilty by Justice Cecilia, what's her name? Cecilia Githua, yes, by Cecilia Githua. Judge Cecilia Githua did definitely give a 4-hour-long judgment following the Obado case. I want us to listen into that judgment by Cecilia, and then we will come back because we are seated with the man of the hour himself, Mr. Victor Hezekiah. He has been the family lawyer of Sharon Otieno's family in these proceedings. Let's take a look and we'll be right back after this.
I am satisfied that the circumstances presented in this case, taken cumulatively, form a chain so complete that there is no escape from the conclusion that the accused persons, jointly with others not before the court, committed the offense charged. The evidence on record irresistibly points to the fact that the accused persons with malice aforethought unlawfully caused the death of Sharon at the material time. It is therefore my finding that the prosecution has proved its case against the first, the second, and the third accused persons beyond in reasonable doubt. I consequently find each accused person guilty of the offense of murder, contrary to Section 203 of the Penal Code, as charged in Count 1. Each accused is accordingly convicted under Section 322 of the Criminal Procedure Code.
All right, now let's pan all our attention to the man of the hour. It's good to have you, Mr. Victor Hezekiah. Habari yako?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, Anne Wanyoike.
Sure thing.
Yes, niko salama sana.
Yeah.
Nyinyi?
Sisi tuko salama, and we just want to understand, Justice Cecilia Githua gave that, that very, it has been a national conversation now for 8 years. First of all, 8 years feels and seems like it has been a long time coming. I wonder from where you sit as the counsel who was very much involved with this case right from the beginning. Does it feel that it was finally justice has been served, but also does it feel like it was delayed for a while?
It feels good that a decision was ultimately rendered, bringing closure to the matter. Of course, the family has been really patient and waiting for the closure.
Yeah.
So it's good that that ultimately happened.
Yeah.
As to whether there was delay, honestly speaking, I wouldn't say that there was avoidable and avoidable delays in the course of the trial. There has been intervening factors.
Okay.
The matter began in 2018. It took some time to go through the preliminary processes like procuring bail. Remember, in the first instance, Justice Lesir denied bail. Then they had to go to the Court of Appeal to appeal that decision, and that's when it was later granted. That, of course, took time, but every accused person has a right to bail. Then when we got into 2019, it was just shortly thereafter that that COVID struck. But even before then, investigation also took some time, and it is necessary that it had to happen. So, because a case of that magnitude, you also don't want to present evidence that is not watertight.
Yeah.
So when COVID struck, I think it of course affected the operations of the judiciary. Then we took not less than a year before now the actual hearing started. And then when we started, Justice Githua has been, I think she has been diligent, in my honest opinion, because when you have 42 witnesses and you have 3 accused persons, every accused person has different set of lawyers to just get a date that is convenient for everybody, for the court, for the sets of lawyers for the victims, for the lawyers for the DPP, for the lawyers for the victim, and also for the actual witness who is scheduled to come and testify. It's not very easy. So I think she did her best, and I think I would commend her. At some point, she was transferred to Muranga after hearing about 25 or so witnesses. Now, when she was transferred to Muranga, we also took a break of close to a year because the judiciary was still trying to establish whether a new judge could be appointed to proceed with the matter and what that would have meant for the trial, or Justice Githua was to proceed. Ultimately, the CJ directed that Justice Githua to proceed, and that also meant that now for her to manage her matters in Muranga and come back to Nairobi and take the hearing, it was now much more difficult, but she still managed. And from the 26th witness all the way to defense hearing, we were able to secure maybe a block of dates, maybe a week or a few days together. She comes, we do the matter, we take a break again. I don't think there's anything she would have done better that she didn't do.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I like that. So from the outcome, she did say that, the outcome was based on circumstantial evidence. For my audience, what does circumstantial evidence mean?
The entire case, not just the outcome, the entire case was premised on circumstantial evidence. What is circumstantial evidence? A crime can happen outside here, and then you are peeping through the window, so you are able to see the one who pulled the trigger. In that case, you become an eyewitness to the commission of the crime.
Right.
Crimes also happen where we are not able to get an actual eyewitness, either because investigations were not able to pin them down, or for whatever any other reason. But you see, it does not negate the fact that crime took place.
Yeah.
Therefore, circumstantial evidence is relying on the circumstances surrounding the commission of the offense, relying on the chain of events forming the transaction, forming that crime, and piecing it together
Yeah.
until you make an inference
Yeah.
that this is the person who committed the crime. Nobody saw you, but looking at this and this and this and this put together, we can only reach one inevitable conclusion that you are the one. Yes.
Okay. Now, as you've said, this case was very complex and complicated in many ways. We've talked about 42 witnesses, which everyone had their lawyer. We have 3 accused in this conversation. What was the most prominent piece of evidence? Because I think there were if I remember, more than 300 pieces of evidence.
No, there were a total of 81
81?
exhibits.
Okay,
Yes, prosecution
yes. Yeah.
prosecution exhibits.
Yeah.
There are other exhibits that were also produced by the defense.
And by exhibits, when you talk about exhibits, what are we talking about here?
Exhibit means
Yeah.
a piece of evidence that has been presented to court
Yeah.
and admitted in court
Yeah.
as evidence to support a particular fact or a particular allegation.
Which can
by-
take the form of...
It can take the form of a document.
Okay.
It can take the form of a property. For example, like one of the evidence or exhibits that were presented was the motor vehicle. It can take the form of a phone. There were some phones that were presented as exhibits.
Okay.
It can take the form of electronic evidence,
Yeah.
which is an extract of maybe phone correspondences, the way we exchange text. That correspondence exchange can be extracted and presented as evidence. Sometimes it can be, depending on the nature of crime, it can also include a gun, it can include a panga,
Okay.
such like things.
Yeah.
Those are exhibits.
So in this case, was there any prominent one that was like, at this point now, there is really no denying? Or all of them?
Remember, we are talking about circumstantial evidence.
Yes.
What it therefore means that no particular piece of exhibit is stronger than the other, because this one gets its relevance only because it has connection to this other one.
Yeah.
We are trying to piece things together. So exhibit 1 relies on the testimony by another witness, and it relies on how it is connected to exhibit 23 and such like. So maybe if to straightly answer your question, I would say maybe something like the motor vehicle. There were also the extract of correspondences from some of the accused persons and other people, other witnesses.
Yeah.
Of course, there was the gruesome photos of Sharon and the unborn child. There were photos from the crime scene. I think those were some that could that inevitably led to the conclusion that actual murder happened.
Yeah.
Now, to tie it together with who committed, now those one depended on those other
Evidence.
I don't know whether you want to call them minor evidences. Yes, but it's a matter of piecing together 1 plus 1 plus 1 without picking one as more important than the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, this has been a high-profile case, involving a former governor, Obado of Migori County. A lot of conversation surrounding this outcome is that could be the right direction towards whether it be the holding account high-profile persons in the Kenyan justice system, but as Kenyans being Kenyans, there's also the other faction that is very skeptical about whether this will actually mean what it means on paper. What do you make of these two judgments?
From my perspective as an advocate and a daily practitioner in our courts, it's good to encourage the public to just build trust. Justice takes time.
Yeah.
Justice takes patience. But when we have an independent judiciary, then it is assured it may take time. It's just a matter of time because there are many other factors that determines the speed at which the court moves. But when we have an independent judiciary, then you realize that justice does not depend on your social status in the society. It does not depend on any political position. It only depends on the facts, the evidence, and the law.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then what happens next in terms of mitigation? Are these three accused persons now, by Kenyan law, what happens? Is there a possibility for them to appeal against 81 exhibits of evidence? What does that look like?
In terms of mitigation first, what is currently happening, we are going back to court on 18th
Okay.
for a mention. It will be a mention to confirm whether some reports have been prepared and filed.
Okay.
Some of the reports that will be relied on by the court are there's one called Victims Impact Assessment Report, where the probation officer comes up with a report to explain the impact of this offense and crime on the victim's family. There is also a report as to whether any of the accused person may have been convicted of either a similar or any other offense before. So those are the kind of reports which are now being prepared and to be filed before 18th. After that, the accused persons will be given an opportunity to mitigate. Mitigation basically means that they are given a chance to plead a case for leniency in sentencing. After that, the court will have its day, will render its sentence. Once sentence is rendered, as a right, every convict has a right to appeal. So the accused persons will have a right. As to whether they will exercise that right, that will be their choice.
Yeah.
But the law grants them that right. Appeal, you don't appeal per se against exhibits.
Okay.
You appeal either against a decision by the court. In this case, they may appeal against the conviction, or you may appeal against the sentence. Somebody may say, I'm satisfied with the conviction. I believe that the judge reached a proper conclusion that I am guilty. But I feel the sentence meted against me was harsh.
Yeah.
I feel I should have deserved something like 5 years.
Yeah.
So the judge went overboard by giving me 20 years. So they can choose to appeal either the conviction alone, or they can choose to appeal sentence alone, or you can also appeal both. Yes.
And to which the outcome might look like what? Bail or shortened jail sentence, or what does the Kenyan law say?
When you appeal, there are only two possible, let me say there are three possible outcomes.
Okay.
Either your appeal can be allowed,
Yeah.
your appeal can be dismissed, or your appeal can be partially allowed and partially disallowed. So if you appeal against a conviction and sentence, and that appeal is allowed, then it means that both the conviction and the sentence will be set aside, and you'll walk free. If your appeal is disallowed, then it means that your conviction will be upheld by the Court of Appeal, and your sentence will be upheld by the Court of Appeal. If it is partially allowed and partially disallowed, then the Court of Appeal will be very clear as to what aspects of your appeal have been allowed, which means that in this area, the Court of Appeal has disagreed with the trial court. And which aspects of that appeal will have been disallowed, which will mean that in those areas, the Court of Appeal will uphold the decision of the trial court. So those are some of the possible outcomes.
Yeah.
But every decision is appealable.
Yeah.
And every appeal can either be allowed, disallowed, or partially allowed and partially disallowed.
How do you look at justice? Because, this is a human interest story, and Sharon Otieno, unfortunately was murdered. So there's no opportunity for her to come back to life. And so I do cringe a little bit to think that we can be having conversations about such a case and say that justice has finally been served. Can we serve justice really if the person that is the one that this case involves. We're talking about a murder here. Nothing really can be done to bring the person back to life. Yeah. Isn't it a little bit too insensitive to say that justice has finally prevailed?
Insensitive may be a strong word, but your question is not a simple question.
Yeah.
It's a question that lawyers and advocates and judges and scholars grapple with every day in law lecture halls, in courtrooms, in journals. What is justice?
Yeah.
And I can assure you that I doubt whether there's any consensus among lawyers, including scholars, as to what justice really means. Now, contextualizing it even in the case of murder, for example, let alone even the one for Sharon, even for murder, the question would be, what does justice look like and to who? Are we doing justice to the deceased victim?
Yeah.
Is it justice to the survivors who have been left behind? And who will those survivors be? Would they be the children of the deceased? Would they be the parents? Would they be the friends? What the children would expect from their deceased parent is different from what the pride that the parents had in the deceased child.
Yeah.
So when you say justice has been served, I think that we just reach a common place of saying we can't have a perfect society. We can't have a perfect punishment for a crime, especially for murder, where one has lost his life. And that is why one of the sentences that the law still allows, and it was the only sentence for a long time for convicts of murder, was death penalty.
Okay.
Where the law said that if you are properly convicted of murder, then the only sentence that can be meted on you is death.
Okay.
It's only until recently when our Supreme Court, through the case of Murwatet, you must have heard probably about it, where they said the aspect of the mandatory aspect of death penalty is unconstitutional. Of course, we now have a very radical and human rights oriented constitution. So the Supreme Court said that no. We are not abolishing the death penalty. It is still lawful, but we are now abolishing the mandatory nature of it.
Okay.
So that if the trial court convicts you of murder, but looking at the circumstances, the trial court is of the view that it was not as cruel in its commission, then you can be given either life imprisonment, you can be given 20 years, you can be given 10 years. So we removed the death penalty, the mandatory aspect of the death penalty. But again, you also would want to ask yourself, even assuming a convict was given death penalty, do you believe that serves justice?
It's a complexity, to be honest.
The greatest, the maximum penalty that we can achieve would be death penalty. Okay. But even that one,
not even then,
you really cannot say that justice has finally been served to the deceased. What about to the living? So for me, I think it is almost impossible to say that, to reach a consensus of what actual justice would look like. But I think that considering the society we live in, considering our human limitations, considering the imperfection of our law and our legal system, this is the closest that we can, making a decision that you are guilty and meting a sentence against you is the closest we can reach whatever concept of justice that we can have, noting that even when we met the maximum sentence of death penalty, still some people will feel it was not justice. Let me give you an example.
Sure.
If you go to the northeastern communities, one of the issues that have been in court is that their concept of justice for a murder crime is very different. If they are sure that you're the one, they know whoever committed the crime, they don't ask for him to be equally killed. If you bring a number of camels and community elders sit down and make some agreement and you comply, to them as a community, they will actually feel that justice has been perfectly served, both on the community and on the deceased. But the legal system says that no, when it comes to murder, you can't solve those kind of things out of court. then the court now says these are the only possible sentences. You cannot say that. You cannot even withdraw such a case in court.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say justice has been served, but with the appreciation of the limitation of even understanding what justice really means and to who that justice should be served.
I like the layers you've really explained and gone really into it, which is
I told you it's a complex question.
It is. It's quite is a complex
Yes.
question for sure, and I like that you've also said that amongst your colleagues in the legal
We have no
practitioner,
consensus
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
like it's a question that you grapple with.
Exactly.
So how do you? So okay. Anyway, it's fine. You've answered that question. Now, again, human interest. You've been working with the family of Sharon Otieno, the father, the mother, in all this court case, appearing before court. It can be gruesome. It's definitely very mentally and emotionally straining. And I mean, I can only imagine the strain that it has taken. For you as the family counsel, first, what can you tell us about how they are doing right now? Their parents, are they happy with the outcome? Again, going back to the complexity of that question about justice, how are they doing? I know right now it can be a little bit too overwhelming for them to even do statements in press.
Yeah. We have not yet had a very substantive conversation with them, with the family.
Yeah.
And understandably so. That was a very weighty matter for them as a family. They needed time to process that judgment. They needed time just to heal from whatever transpired. Of course, they may have participated in the hearing for the whole 8 years, but there's a freshness that is awakened just by the decision being made and the appreciation that this may be it at the end of everything. There's a way that wound may actually be reopened. So they needed time to process the judgment, and they needed that space. As to their reaction, I think other than to say that they have welcomed the judgment, it is only fair and proper that they express their own feelings, their own reaction by themselves, lest I misrepresent their position.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you have to leave. As we conclude our conversation this morning, what precedence does this outcome mean for you as a legal professional, but also for the larger legal system in the country?
For me, I think it just reinforces my belief in the judiciary and in our judicial system. As we said before, we have good judges. We have reliable and independent, judicially independent, rather decisionally independent judges. They are there. Unfortunately, and admittedly so, there are some elements in our judiciary where there are complaints here and there. But the judgment, to me as a practitioner of law, reinforces my belief that justice do exist and we can actually achieve an independent judiciary. One thing that my seniors have said before is that it's not a perfect system. We just work it out every single day. So if I get a hitch today, that hitch should not inform my opinion on the entirety of the judiciary, because today I will get a hitch, but tomorrow I'll get a success.
Yeah.
So we look at it from that perspective. To the larger public, my only, what I believe, or what I hope it teaches us and it reminds us the same thing, that our judiciary can indeed be independent, and more importantly, that when all is said and done in the court of public opinion, the judiciary makes decisions based on facts, evidence, and the law. Yes, we are allowed to talk on Facebook, we are allowed to talk on social media, we are allowed to talk in our social fora.
Yeah.
But when all that is said and done, court decisions are informed by the facts, evidence, and the law. Yes.
Speaking about the public, are they allowed to come to the public the hearings? Are they public?
Yes, court.
And where
Sorry,
is that?
proceed.
Yeah.
Court proceedings are public proceedings
Okay.
unless otherwise directed by the court.
Yeah.
There are some nature of proceedings, but there are some proceedings that by their very nature, they require some privacy. For example, where we are having children matters, a defilement case, for example, to protect the interests of that child, then the court may want to conceal, or rather to make those proceedings private, and only limit it to the primary participants.
Yeah.
In this particular case, there are some witnesses who, in the course of their testimony, the media was prevented from airing those testimonies live, but some were just public.
Okay.
There are many members of the public who joined. You even remember in the judgment, the reading itself.
Yeah.
We had the courtroom was packed.
Yeah.
In fact, they were given even a different room where a screen was put because it's a public.
It's very
proceeding.
yeah.
So
of public interest.
Yes. Especially now for this one, which had a lot of public interest in it.
Yeah.
You go to Milimani or whichever courtroom. A case can be tried from whichever court. If there is no restriction, then you are allowed to participate as long as you abide by the rules of the court. Be there, be silent, don't cause any trouble, don't cause any interference.
Yeah.
Don't interfere with the witnesses.
Yeah.
Yes.
So by law, categorically, it's happening at the Milimani courts.
This particular trial happened in Milimani.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that all of them happen in Milimani. It can happen anywhere. Yes.
Okay. So then you said the next phase is the
next phase. What we are waiting for is now mitigation. Mitigation is the accused persons, or rather the convicts, being given an opportunity
to
plead their case for leniency in sentence.
Yeah.
Then thereafter, the court will render its sentence, and upon rendering the sentence, that will mark the official closure of the trial court proceedings. Then the next phase is appeal, if and should they choose to appeal.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Final remarks as we close.
Final remarks, just to express my gratitude for the opportunity to speak to the public and to share my thoughts.
Yeah.
But also secondly, to encourage the public to continue having faith in our judiciary and to continue working it out.
Yeah.
Our judiciary is part of the ecosystem in which we live.
Yeah.
The imperfections we see in our parliament, the imperfections we see in our executive, the imperfections we see in our independent commissions, the imperfections we see in our one-to-one relationships, and those that we see in our families are the same ones that we also see in the judiciary. But one imperfection does not mean that the entire judiciary is wrong or is rotten. Let us continue working out those imperfections. Yes, we should not be relaxed with them. But the fact that they are there does not mean that the entire judiciary is bad. We point them out, we address them, and then we just make it better day by day.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor Hezekiah, for speaking to us on Power Radio, and all the best with what happens from this point going forward.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Anne.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Sure thing.
I really appreciate it.
Right. Thank you, guys. That has been our time with the family lawyer of Sharon Otieno's trial case that has been still going on, Mr. Victor Hezekiah, there on the Obado outcome. Now, the show is not yet over. We are going to be joined by Letitia Mwavishi. She is a legal expert as well, especially on the gender lens of everything. We'll talk about what that means because, again, FIDA has been following this case closely. So she joins us virtually after this short break, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. Jack on the beat.
They say on drugs, I say on me. They say it's sad, I say it's funny. You in some crap, don't you dare call me, cause I know that I can get you out this shit. I know it's weird that I'm quite honest, but if I don't, then who's gonna know? When mama said Don't you play with fire, you should listen and just move out my way. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. I've got this feeling that someone's on me, yeah. Someone's on me. Ooh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Yeah, 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 someone's on me. Oh, someone's on me, someone's on me. 'Cause I'm a drug, can you run me? And I'm a drug that I just cannot resist. Someone's on me, ooh, someone's on me. Once you begin, but there's no ending. Oh boy, it's like divine calling. And you don't know if you're up or falling. Light at the end of the tunnel, well, not here. The end is near, I feel it coming. This is between you and I only. When mama said, don't you play with fire, you should listen, it just move out my way. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. Someone's on me. Ooh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Yeah, 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 someone's on me. Oh, someone's on me, someone's on me. 'Cause I'm a drug, can you run me? And I'm a drug that you just cannot resist. Someone's on me, someone's on me, someone's on me, someone's on me, yeah. And I'm a drug that you just cannot resist. Someone's on me.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. It's track time.
Too much to love, too much to love you. Yeah, too different. I think we're too different. You listen, I'm speaking, why won't you listen? Yeah, decision. I'm really trying to make the best decisions for you and me. I think we need to let it breathe. How many times? How many times have we fuss and we fight? And how many signs do you think we need till we say goodbye? It's no surprise, we done this a couple hundred times. Giving me vibes, telling me lies. Like you're the only one, yeah, you're the only one for me. You're the only one, you're the only one that I need. The only one, you're the only one for me. Don't play the blame game. It takes too much to love you.
Say it's really mean, but it's really too much.
Nimechoka kusafa cause of you.
Don't play the blame.
Take too much to love you.
Say it's really mean, but it's really too much.
Nimechoka kukosa na with you.
Don't play the blame game. Stay saying that we are different. Can't seem to admit you're afraid of commitment. Testing my patience with your expectations. Always making decisions. Who gave you my permission? How many times can I fake being polite? How many tries? Marangapi, will I ever get tired? I ain't surprised. We've done this a couple of hundred times. Wanipa vibes, but stay telling lies. Like, I'm the only one, I'm the only one for you. Only one, I'm the only one. You say won't fade away. Only one, I'm the only one for you. Only one, but it's just too much.
It takes too much to love you.
Say it's really me, but it's really too much love.
Nimetoka kusafa cause of you.
Why you love to play the blame
Take too much to love you.
Say it's really me, but it's really too much
Nimetoka
love.
kukosa na with you.
Don't play the blame.
It take too much to love you.
Say it's really me, but it's really too much
Nimetoka
love.
kusafa cause of you.
Why play the blame?
It take too much to love you.
Say it's really me, but it's really too much
Nimetoka
love.
kukosa na with you.
Don't play the blame game.
Too much to love.
Too much, too much.
Too much to love.
Too much, too much.
Too much to love.
Too much, too much. Too much to love.
Taurus music.
Woman, you make me feel like 1,000 shillings. It's your coins but naughty. Me, you, minus tie, shirt in a koti. Heaven, floating, hoping I may make you feel like a lady. Oh yeah.
Nataka unifunze adabu. Penzi langu tamu kama madafu. Nipe hilo penzi la ajabu. Usikawie, usikawie. Usikawie bila sababu. Songa karibu yangu mami. Unifunze adabu. Usinipimie, usinipimie. Ua, nimechanua. Ukikawia, nitanyauka. Jua, kapisha mvua. Nimegundua, utaniua. Wanipagawisha. Long time it's been, kuna kiangazi. Tukutane wapi, nikupate wapi. Wewe ni mubaya baya. Mafuta moto kwa karaya raya. Nitaimba bila haya haya. Wewe ni pasta mini kwaya kwaya. Wewe ni mubaya baya. Mafuta moto kwa karaya raya. Nitaimba bila haya haya. Wewe ni pasta mini kwaya. Nataka unifunze adabu. Penzi langu tamu kama madafu. Nipe hilo penzi la ajabu. Usikawie, usikawie. Usikawie bila sababu. Songa karibu yangu mami. Unifunze adabu. Usinipimie, usinipimie. Mpenzi, ukanguta vile. Let me talk to you for a minute. Cause lately, I seem not to be okay. Wanifanya na kwa za kishenzi. Wanifanya na isini kama naoga na maji vugu vugu. Yani ngumisete ngagwata ukuta. Hey! Kizunguzungu. It's been a long, long time since I felt this way. And I've been longing and waiting to see your face. Songea karibu niruhusu nikubusu, sauti yako mpenzi nataka kusikia daily. Baby, you light me fire. Nikiwa nawe misioni haya. Mambo yote sawa. Siwezi kuacha hata na dawa ya muganga. Baby, you light me fire. Nikiwa nawe misioni haya. Mambo yote sawa. Siwezi kuacha hata na dawa ya muganga. Penzi langu tamu kama madafu. Nipe hilo penzi la ajabu. Usikawie, usikawie. Usikawie bila sababu. Songa karibu yangu mami. Unifunze adabu. Usinipimie, usinipimie. Wewe ni mubaya baya. Mafuta moto kwa karaya. Nitaimba bila haya haya. Wewe ni pasta mini kwa ni. Baby, you light me fire. Nikiwa nawe misioni haya. Mambo yote sawa. Siwezi kuacha hata na dawa ya muganga. Penzi langu tamu kama madafu. Nipe hilo penzi la ajabu. Usikawie, usikawie. Usikawie bila sababu. Songa karibu yangu mami. Unifunze adabu. Usinipimie, usinipimie.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Tender hands, tender hands. Why won't you let go? Of your tender heart, tender heart. Maybe you'll grow, you know. Count to 3. Take a step. Count to 3. Take a breath. His tender smile, his pretty lion. But sometimes I get unsure why his heart feels cold. Her tender lies, ooh, her tender lies. They burn off his skin, his fire. I see him think of her sometimes. Still he counts to 3. He takes a step. Oh, it's a love unplanned. Oh, I try to breathe. Try to breathe. Try to breathe. Try to breathe. It's a bad romance, but I still take his hand. His tender hands are in God's tender hands. Maybe if I let go, then I'll grow.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
I wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. Your body language tells me that you let me in. The way your eyes light up whenever I am here. I'm up for the taking, I'm eager to taste it. This is a connection that's not regular. Your skin all on my skin, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to fight it, but you I can't deny it. The way you come and feeling so impeccable. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. I just wanna smell the cocoa butter off your skin, yeah. And everything you do, you got me floating. And I'm high up off your love, I can't control it, yeah. You got my body on fire, I can't ignore it. So bad that I can't get enough. Imekuangori, yeah. I'm not holding out, baby. You only got me for yourself. Our bodies are soaking in pleasure. I wouldn't want nobody else. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter off your skin. I love the journey that I'm taking when exploring your mind. Oh my, I'm astounded. Such a detailed design. Well, in short, I'm just saying you exactly my type. And you can tell by the way I'm trying to get your eyes on mine. And oh my, you got me slipping, boy. The way I'm speechless, they need to admit I'm tripping for you. Yeah, I admit it fully. That you done got me and stopping is what I didn't owe you. I'm in my feelings so big, you're so intriguing. I wanna taste it, taste it, taste it. I wanna taste it, taste it, taste it. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter. I just wanna taste the cocoa butter.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
There's a quarantine outside, ain't nobody leaving. It's after Valentine's, not yet July, and I wish it wasn't raining here. Oh. And I know you don't believe when I said I miss you more, but you don't know what I give to walk right to your door, just to hear you say everything will be alright. Shit happens for a reason. We're finding ways to pass the time, searching for new meaning. I'm thinking maybe it's a sign for me and you to take this time to reset and rewind. There's a loneliness inside. We on the phone for hours, and we're laughing about all the times I never bought you flowers. Watching movies, getting high, writing songs to stay alive. Hope we make it out together, together, yeah. And I know you don't believe when I said I miss you more, but you don't know what I give to walk right to your door, just to hear you say everything will be alright. Shit happens for a reason. We're finding ways to pass the time, searching for new meaning. I'm thinking maybe it's a sign for me and you to take this time to reset and rewind. Everything will be alright. Shit happens for a reason. We're finding ways to pass the time, searching for new meaning. I'm thinking maybe it's a sign for me and you to take this time to reset and rewind. Everything will be alright. Shit happens for a reason. We're saw me with some guy. Na hili penzi bila penzi, kama najiseti. It's okay, I get it. You won't stay with me. Na mimi sitalia daily. I won't have your babies. Don't you try to chase me. First you have to tell me. Whoa. Start grinding, keep grinding. Start whining, keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep grinding. Whoa, whoa, keep grinding. Yeah, yeah, keep grinding. Stop whining, stop whining. Start grinding, stop whining. Start whining, keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep grinding. Keep grinding. Every day, every day, every day. We kill 'em every day. To find a jet, when they are jet, to send me jet. Kill 'em every day. To win my jet, to dance a jet, to jet, jet, jet. Kill 'em every day. To find a jet, when they are jet, to send me jet. Kill 'em every day. To win my jet, to dance a jet, to jet, jet, jet. Kill 'em every day. To find a jet, when they are jet, to send me jet. Kill 'em every day. To win my jet, to dance a jet, to jet, jet, jet. Kill 'em every day. To find a jet, when they are jet, to send me jet. Kill 'em every day. To win my jet, to dance a jet, to jet, jet, jet. Jet, 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 jet. Whoa, jet, 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 jet. Keep grinding, keep grinding, keep grinding. Whoa, whoa, keep grinding. Yeah, yeah. Stop whining, stop whining, stop whining. Start grinding, keep grinding. Start whining, keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep grinding. Whoa, whoa, keep grinding. Yeah, yeah. Keep grinding. Stop whining, stop whining. Start grinding, stop whining. Start whining, keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep grinding. Keep grinding.
All right. Welcome back to the Power Morning Drive Show. My name is Wanyoike, and thank you for staying on with us. We're still figuring out how to get Miss Letitia Mwavishi. She is joining us right now virtually on the Power Morning Drive Show to put a legal and gender lens to this conversation that we've been having this morning about the Obado and Sharon Otieno case. It's good to have you join us, Letitia Mwavishi. If you can hear us, karibu sana on the show. Did we lose her?
Are you on mute?
No.
Yeah, we did.
Letitia? Is she on? Okay. I think we've lost Letitia, but let's work on getting her back on. The conversation again. Means it's very high stake in terms of Governor Okoth Obado being involved with a 26-year-old lady there, Sharon Otieno, that meant that okay, we have Letitia back on. Letitia, can you hear us? Yes, we can. We can. We can hear you, but we cannot see you.
Okay, how about now?
Not yet. Still, we.
I think my camera is on.
Mm-hmm. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Give it time.
Okay.
Because my camera is on.
Okay. Your camera is on? Letitia? Okay, perfect. Yes, now we can see you.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Anne.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Power Morning Drive Show. Salimia wa Kenya.
Good morning, Kenyans. I hope you're okay.
Yes.
Looking forward to the conversation.
Sure. Right. Okay, let's just get right into it because, I understand that you have to go, you have other engagements. But for now, the Sharon Otieno case judgment was given out by Justice Cecilia. FIDA has been part of this journey in this case for the time that it has been, which is 8 years now. What are the initial reactions from the FIDA team there? A big win, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Letitia Mwavishi. I currently work at the Federation of Women Lawyers as a policy and advocacy advocate. I'm also a gender justice expert, and I'm also a feminist. And of course, to engage with the question that you just asked, definitely, it was just almost a week since the judgment was delivered.
Yeah.
And of course, from us, we were representing the victims, victims' family. So, of course, help them to process the justice that, of course, they were looking for their daughter at the time. So, definitely, when the judgment was delivered, it was a mixed reaction of course, shock. And of course, we were elevated because finally, the matter had come to its conclusion, because this matter has been ongoing since 2018, as it was mentioned, and then now to have judgment 8 years later. Truly, I think it was just a relief to just have that sigh of relief that finally it is done, and justice as to what from our side was accorded to both the victim, the deceased, and the victim's family. So it was a moment of excitement to first receive it, because this judgment is supposed to actually have been delivered in May, but of course, due to some circumstances, it was now pushed to July. So it was now another few months to, of course, wait for it to be delivered. So for us to have that judgment at that date, first was just to say we are done, and then now, of course, now see now how now to translate that judgment to, of course, to ensure the family understands in aspects of it being justice for them.
Yeah.
So yes, so that was the reaction that we had at that time.
This definitely is a case of femicide for sure. And I wonder what you can contextualize for us in terms of understanding it from a gender justice lens. There has been a lot of conversations about femicide in this country, but then again, more complexities enter the room when we have such a high profile case. Yeah, but then it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a femicide case. So what can you tell us in terms of understanding the complexities from a gender justice and a femicide lens to this case? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Because I remember even when the case started, at that time, we were witnessing a lot of media reporting on women being killed, and being found in undignified spaces, where of course now even human rights organizations, human rights defenders had come out to of course now demand for some sort of accountability at that stage. So at that time, even femicide was now being pronounced, and civil societies were coming out to say that this is a femicide case. I remember it just when it happened immediately after the late Sharon case, we had the case of the late Ivy Wangeshi in the same timeline, where of course we remember how her situation happened in terms of her being murdered in that case. So in terms of understanding femicide, and this we have seen even in the report that was done recently by a task force that is convened to of course look at the critical issues that when we talk about femicide, what it's about. So from the definition, definitely we do have that understanding that it is the gendered killing of women and girls because of their gender. And it's very important for us to have to dissect in terms of understanding when you mean that they're being killed because of their gender. It's because of the societal understanding of how gender has been translated to see that women are supposed to be subservient, and then men are supposed to be like providers, protectors. So they have that power and they have that control to dominate, of course, now the weakest link, if I may put it that way. So now contextualizing, of course, in terms of femicide, and for the late Sharon case, it fits the description of femicide because we have seen characteristics of femicide where it describes that you find victims will have some sort of intimate relationship with the partners that, of course, are most of the time suspects to be charged or to be brought before court to have committed that crime. And then, of course, for her case, the particular way in which she died, if we remember how the judge described that her death, she was actually sexually violated first before her life was taken. And then even the manner of how she was killed, where it was described that it was due to severe hemorrhage. So the person had to target, of course, because they were aware that she was expectant. So even the manner of death describes on how it was gendered, because definitely the person might have or might have not known by stabbing her, of course, to that part, it will, of course, maybe lead to severe bleeding. And then the aspect of where she was found also played a role, because you remember also when they were describing the first, I think it was the first prosecution witness, who was the person who was able to identify or rather to spot her where she was dumped. That also falls in part and place in some of the characteristics of femicide when we describe it. And of course, other things play into play when it comes to femicide. But both alone, they tick that box of identifying that it's indeed classified as a femicide case. And from even the way it has been described in terms of just understanding that justice and the context that we are right now, we are seeing that, of course, a lot of women and girls being found in undignified places. The situation, the background of their killing definitely has to have some sort of intimate relations, intimate partners, situations that, of course, now went up to the end now, but now it leads to, of course, them being found in the situation that they are. So in that context, then at least now we can understand why then we classify femicide to, of course, be recognized as a crime, why we have to have a discussion that femicide is a crisis, it affects women and girls, and they need, of course, to have a response that now analyzes those issues. Because, and one of the things that, of course, now femicide is not something that just starts. It has to have a background, because also most of the cases, when we talk about femicide, there has to be that aspect of violence against women. There has to be some symptoms of violence. It can be physical, it can be emotional. Like in the case of the late Sharon, where the judge was able to describe her situation at that time, can be classified as psychological violence. She was not experiencing any physical, that was not presented, but at the time, what was presented, where she was being pressured to terminate the pregnancy, she was being left alone to, of course, now figure out her life with the circumstances that she was at that moment. So it can really be classified as psychological or emotional violence that she was experiencing at the time before now had died.
Yeah. What does this outcome mean in terms of the setting the precedence for litigating femicide cases in the country? Because on one hand, and you'll tell us, does the law provide premise for femicide in itself? Is it criminalized in Kenyan law?
At the moment, no, because, and I think it's the development and the report that of course came out was now the foundation to of course now have an opportunity to have discussions around having femicide as a standalone, or it can be integrated into the existing law. Because right now what is happening, even from the police unit, from the investigation up to the prosecutions, up to the court, it's still being seen as murder because we have murder within our law. So the advocacy has been around now, of course, now putting the gender picture into it, because it's not just an ordinary murder, because you can't compare a murder that happens, for example, if it's planned because of revenge, because of a commercial aspect of it, to what now is happening when it's talking about femicide. Because now femicide is targeted, it is gender motivated, and even the manner of how, like those characteristics have been identified. There has to be intimate partner, there has to be violence, there is the man of the death, and stuff like that. So it's more of a conversation of building on whether to see if having a standalone would be a more reactive response to it. But of course, it's something that definitely needs to be in place, because even in terms of data collection, how now do we even classify that this crime needs, of course, to have this effective response? But it is right now, what we can say in terms of what this case has ignited is definitely to look at it in terms of even how justice is delivered.
Yeah.
And what I can put into, it's the same case when you saw the case of the late Ivy Wangeshi. It happened in a span of 4 years. And this one, it happened in a span of 8 years. And remember, both of them, actually, the late Sharon case was the first one, and then now the late Ivy case now followed. But we see in terms of the justice system, it now informs us in terms of how now the justice system looks and how it defines how victims can be able to have hope in the justice system. So one, you can look at it in a way that it has ignited hope for victims who may have not been reached that stage of femicide, but it gives them that hope to see that indeed that the law is on their side and it can respond to protect them and to put measures that can at least support them in their journey of justice. But on the other side, it also now identifies the system gaps that we have in terms of case delays, the long delays of delivering judgment, the processes it takes, and what now the impact it has either to the accused persons, to the victims, to the court, to the prosecution, and to the society at large. So yeah, I think that is what now the case has ignited in terms of conversation.
Yeah. And in terms of, this is a case, I wonder, how does this case expose systemic vulnerabilities that women continue to face, especially when power dynamics are involved?
One of the things, of course, definitely is what, even from an organization point of view, we have seen in terms of how victims tend to view if whether justice can really be achieved. Because, like you see, this is a matter that was quote unquote high profile because it had a sitting governor at the time, they had access to lawyers,
money.
So money was there. So you could have expected, of course, for it to either be faster, for it to be seamless, and of course, some sort of positiveness out of it. But it definitely identifies one of the things that we have been advocating for, and which actually even ignited the aspect of having a gender justice court to respond to some of these issues. Because one of the things is sometimes to victims, justice delayed is for them justice denied. And to some victims, for them, they understand if I walk into the police station, I report that I was physically assaulted, and I tell you the person who physically assaulted me, the police will do expeditious investigations, the prosecutions will do expeditious prosecution, the judges will do expeditious delivery of decisions. But in this case, definitely it demonstrated that despite all that being in place, we still have those challenges in terms of how costs are being managed. And one particular thing, like for this case, it had two judges who listened to it, because when it started, it had a judge who has now been elevated to the Court of Appeal. So when she left at that time, I think 20 about witnesses had already been heard. And then now when the new judge comes in, you see now she had to familiarize herself with the case. She had to familiarize with those witnesses who have testified. She had to ground herself so that at least now, even in delivering justice, it's somehow impartial and balanced. So a lot of those things definitely have an impact in terms of highlighting how the system works. It doesn't foresee, for example, if a judge is transferred, if a judge passes on, if a judge retires, how now do we fill that gap? And then in terms of also just supporting victims. And luckily for, of course, this case, Figure came through, of course, for the family to work with them, to give them that psychosocial support, which at times we don't see in so many cases where, of course, the state, once the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution steps in some cases, it's assumed that they represent the victim's interest to the fullest. So if you don't, of course, find a proactive prosecutor, they might not factor in the aspect of psychosocial support because you see, like for this case, every year it's reminded that family that your daughter has died, that your daughter was killed, that your daughter, you're finding justice for your daughter. So every year, every month it was being mentioned, every month it was being heard, every day it was given a further date, every day they come, they're told the judge not. It was a reminder, it was more of like a trauma to them. So definitely it highlights in terms of just managing the victim's expectations when a process takes that long, which of course sometimes it's not really provided upward from this stage. So those are some of the, of course, the system challenges that we definitely see. Of course, we are hoping out of this case and throughout the engagement can be reformed to ensure that, of course, when looking at gender justice, both from the accused persons to the state, to the victim, and all the victim's family, it is centered to cater for every person's needs.
Yeah. In response to reforming the justice system, I do think that feminist approaches to justice and the rule of law should be one of the ways that we are looking to. Is this something that would be palatable? Are there conversations happening within the legal system to, leverage on feminist approaches to justice?
Definitely. And one thing I can say, I think yesterday or sometime this week, the National Council on Administration of Justice have just launched a guideline that is people-centered justice. And what, of course, that means is that it centers the needs of the people on how best to effectively provide justice. So in the concept of course, on GBV, and this is where, of course, feminist principles that are advocating to have principles such as dignity, safety, non-discrimination, inclusive participatory of the victim. Like the victim has to drive that form of justice. This context. So definitely, these are conversations that, of course, even from the CSO, we are trying to highlight how justice needs to be centered in a way that the victim is not just seen as a participant, but they have that meaningful engagement. They're involved. They share their concerns, they're able to be supported. If they need professional support, they're able to be provided. If they need, let's say, to understand the process, we have access to victims, to lawyers who can support them in that. So definitely, yes, this is something that even from this guideline, we are hoping that it can translate now to, of course, actionable things that when a person interacts with the justice system, whether it's at the police station, whether it's the court, whether it's the prosecution, whether it's at the hospital, their needs are centered in the aspect of dignity, safety, confidentiality, data privacy are able to be enforced to ensure that they are not just seen as a passenger in this wheel of justice, but they are seen as being the driver, they're being seen as the conductor, they're being seen as the passenger, they're being seen even as the bus in this whole conversation. So yeah, definitely it's something that even from our point of view, we try, of course, to negotiate and policies are being put in place to, of course, center that trauma-informed care, to center that trauma-centered care that, of course, now doesn't just produce justice in a homogeneous way, but it's multi-sector and it's multi-layered to ensure that, of course, it transforms a victim. Because at the end of the day, what the justice system looks at is that social transformation. So if someone walks into the court, yes, you've charged this person. How now does it translate into the society, looking at it like we can depend on these systems, we can depend on these institutions, we can depend on the law in such a way. So yeah, definitely it's something that is on the pipeline, and we look forward to, of course, support organizations that spearhead this initiative.
Yeah. There's a question that I had asked earlier to the counsel of Sharon Otieno's case, which is the question of justice, and when we have such a case, somebody has been murdered. So in true essence, we really can't say that their justice has been served. So how do you think about the complexity of the term justice, and how can we, how do we stay sensitive to certain language around certain cases, such as
Mhm.
femicide, in even
Mm.
in our pursuit of justice, and why is it important?
I think it's very important because, and even just using the case that you have considered for the late Sharon, justice has very different meanings in our context.
Yeah.
And sometimes justice can be in terms of even restorative justice, where maybe the victim's family just wants some sort of peace, some sort of acknowledgement that this person did this to their person and stuff. So from the conversation and of course even from our engagement as an organization interacting with victims of gender-based violence, survivors and families of gender-based violence, which of course translates into femicide, you really have to hear their wishes and needs because to one person justice might feel like this person has to be convicted for them to feel safe, for them to feel dignified, for them to feel recognized. To another person, it might feel like I just want this person to say, I'm sorry. I recognize I have caused you harm and I'm sorry. To another person, it might be, I want just compensation. I incurred this type of harm. Let's say it's psychological. I just want to be supported through therapy. I want to be supported through hospital visits. To some, it might totally even mean I don't even want to engage. That person did it. It's okay. I've forgiven them. I don't even want to know them, but I have moved on. So when you're looking at, of course, in terms of what justice, and from our approach, how we have been using as CIDA is just having that survivor centered and trauma-informed care when applying justice to ensure that the person informs us, because then we can give them information. We can tell them, oh, what has happened to you? Let's say it's a victim of GBV that has not, of course, been femicide. You, of course, tell them you can report to the police, you can seek protection order, you can go to court, this person can be arrested, you can get, these are the remedies that you can get. In a case where, of course, maybe the family has lost someone in the case of GBV, then that can definitely, the state has responsibility, but still, as advocates, of course, in such a scope, definitely you also have to give them just information. What does it look like in terms of the law responding to this issue? What are the timelines? What are the expectations? So you try to manage, but at the end of it all is for you to, of course, just provide information, but guide that person to make a decision that is sane for them and respecting it. Because at times, and I remember even sometimes when you litigate cases around defilement or sexual violence, at times victims will just tell you, I just want compensation of this amount of money. You can have your biasness, but that is what the victim, the survivor, they want, of course, for them to feel that they have been dignified, that the law has seen them. So it's a conversation that, of course, we are seeing, and like I've mentioned, there's a guidance which has just been launched by the National Council on Administration of Justice. I think it was just yesterday or around this week.
Yeah.
And one of the guiding principles is, of course, just having that listening to the person. What does it mean to them? Because at times you might push someone to say, okay, let's go this way and let's have this person convicted. Along the way, they get tired, they get emotionally baggaged, and they feel like it's too much for them to handle. So it's just a matter of, as institutions, we just have to have that whole package in terms of when the victim, survivor, the client, the complainant comes to seek justice, you're able to provide all those sort of services. So someone thinks that for them, medical assistance is justice for them, then how do you package that from what the service that you're providing? If you're providing legal aid, then it's just a matter of either going to court and asking for court to ensure that this person gets medical attention, maybe gets psychosocial support, and things like that. Yeah.
So this case has taken 8 years to finally get to a point where we have a judgment, and
Yeah.
I'm just curious: is it by design, or like objectively, should it have taken this long for us to arrive at this particular point?
Of course, on theory, we expect because investigations had already been done. Everything was ready. The defense, the accused person had legal representation. The prosecutions were ready. The victim family, of course, also ready. The judges were ready. But of course, some it depends also on case to case basis. And I'll still use the example of the late Foundation. Like I mentioned, she was killed in April, I think sometime in April 2019. We had the judgment in her case, I think in June 2023, thereabouts. That's 4 years. That one, of course, is given, it's somehow reasonable because looking at the magnitude of the case and how it looks like. So it really depends on a case to case basis because I think for the late Ivy, I think it had like 25 witnesses, if I'm not wrong. And you know, this one for the late Sharon, it has 42 witnesses. And then sometimes things can be unavoidable. Like I mentioned, when we started, and I remember at the initial, we had the defense presenting, trying to close gaps in terms of having a fair hearing for all the accused persons. You'd find applications such as bail were made, you'd find applications such as refusing the judge were made, you'd find applications as refusing even counsel for the victims were made. So at that time, a lot was happening. And then, unfortunately, even for this case, it came at a time when COVID was with us. So also the court system had to, of course, now translate in how do we now deliver justice in this pandemic. So in reality, of course, for the expectations and what even victims expect of justice should take is minimum. It shouldn't like go beyond like a year or even 2 years. But it depends on case. Every case has its unique circumstances. And for this one, definitely it had unique circumstances. It had its unique interest. And yes, so most cases it depends. But the call is, of course, definitely to have cases to be had in the shortest time to ensure that, of course, even persons who are seeking justice do not feel like they're being burdened.
FIDA has definitely facilitated this case in the way that it has been, and I'm very curious to hear from you. So, for the role of organizations such as FIDA, you know, in mitigating and litigating these cases of femicide and gender-based violence, but also the broader conversation being what happens to those that do not perhaps have the access to a feeder, for instance? How can people get help? Yes.
I think it's very important, and this one, especially when we had now the Victim Protection Act, which of course from Article 50 was the foundation of now understanding the aspect, the importance of having legal aid to support victims, support victims, families, and any persons who want to access justice. Because you see, like for our role, we are working with the victim's family in terms of giving them that psychosocial support, trying to, of course, break down some of the legal conversations, trying to, of course, make them understand how it has been given. I mentioned it. What does that look like? It has been given a hearing. What does that look like? It has been given this. What do we need to prepare? So we were able at least to work with them to understand the legal justice in a manner that made them feel like they're comfortable. They're not being dragged around. They're not being taken circle and circle, which was very important. And towards the end, we saw the impact to it because even when the judgment was being delivered, I remember the first time we were engaging with the late Sharon's mother and the family. They were completely out of it. You could actually feel that they were in pain. You could actually see it in their faces. But 8 years later, you could see it was like some sort of relief. We were actually even expecting they were going to cry, they were going to shout, they were going to scream when the judgment was read, of course, in their favor. But that was not the case. And I think this one we can attribute to, of course, the mental, psychosocial support that have been given all through that time, which, of course, organizations come to play. Like I mentioned, at times states may not have those resources to ensure that they have that victim-centered approach or cyber-centered approach to ensure that you embed a mental wellness aspect into the case, because these cases, they take a toll. Sometimes when you're there, you're listening, and for the family, they attended all hearings. They attended most of the hearings where they're able to be told your daughter was like this. This is what your daughter was doing. This is the person that you thought you were raising. You see, those are some of the things that you're hearing at the public. And it can trigger a lot of things because you now either question yourself, you doubt yourself and stuff like that. So us as our role, of course, we saw that as a trigger because, and I think mental psychosocial support through our officer really came into play to support. For persons, of course, who cannot access, definitely, then definitely redefines justice for them. Because if you don't have someone who's working with you to help you understand the process, to help you understand the system, you would feel frustrated. So you can imagine if you don't have, like, let's say, like a pro bono lawyer, if you don't even have an organization that is well equipped with the legal service to explain to you that if you go to the police station, it will take 10 days. If you go to the hospital, it will take 50 days. If you go to the court, it will take years. To some, that person, and if they're not given like a proper explanation, they will be frustrated with the system, and definitely you will see now a lot of those cases will not even make it to court. A lot of those cases will not be reported because someone will have that past trauma to say, I went through this process, no one was explaining to me anything, no one was telling me anything, no one was giving me that moral support, no one was looking at my mental health, so I gave up. So those are some of the things that I appreciate highlighting.
Yeah. For obvious reasons, this case definitely attracted a lot of public and media interest, and I wonder, does public scrutiny undermine due process, or in some cases, does it facilitate the pursuit? Does it help the pursuit of justice?
Again, it depends on case to case basis. Like I mentioned, I think this one was very unique because at the time that the person was being charged, they were a person in power. They were a person who was running a county. They had a title to his name. So definitely, and from a lay person understanding, we tend to see that persons in power, they tend to have that control of how the justice looks like. They tend to have, they craft the justice that fits them. So it depends, and I think even at the time, it was really now questioning the morality, the integrity of the leaders that we had. So definitely it had a lot of lens to look at it. So it really depends on a case-to-case basis. But for this one in particular, it definitely had that a lot of inquiry whether justice was going to be accorded. People were really having doubts, oh no, this is a person in power. We know persons in power and how they control the system. There's going to be aspects of corruption, aspects of going to what is called bribery and all that. So a lot of persons had that presumption that it may not really be fair, and if it will be fair, definitely some level of power and dominance is going to play, and at the end of it, the victim will not get the justice. But the turnaround of it is what, of course, now has now translated into now people seeing it doesn't matter whether you're in power or not, the rule of law will, at the end of the day, take its toll.
Something interesting that also came up with the conversations that I was seeing online is the issue of victim blaming in the guise of holding Sharon accountable. And in your advocacy efforts, do you train the public on how to ingest and also be critical of certain language, certain narratives? Because I don't think they are helpful to the discourse.
Definitely, yes. In the work that we do, of course, in terms of creating awareness, this is some of the things that we try, of course, to sensitize the public around, because one of the elements in terms of lower reporting or victims just even coming out to seek justice is the aspect of being blamed. And I think over the years we have seen some sort of reforms around it, where we're even seeing people are knowledgeable about being sensitive to some of the issues. But of course, we're in a landscape where, of course, the digital landscape is not even trying to make it worse, because you see, nowadays you see that the blaming was just grounded. But right now with the digital landscape, it has transformed in terms of how we respond. But from us as an organization, it's a continuation to first reach awareness about things, to apply those survivor-centered concerns. When someone has been subjected to any form of violence, it doesn't matter the circumstances. First, at least ensure their safety is there, ensure that they access justice, and support them to the level that, of course, they don't feel like they're being targeted, they're being shamed for, of course, what happened. So it's just a matter of course, having an initiative where people are engaged to understand the magnitude of these things. Because the example of the late Sharon case, we saw a lot of victim blaming, but of course, people were not centered on what happened. It doesn't matter whether she was that or whether she was this or whether a mistake was done. The fact that the law defines that what happened to her as murder should have taken its course and let the law. The other thing, I think, is just a matter of how to shift the society to rethink. And most of them, of course, it stems from now how we understand the conversation around gender, where women are supposed to be disciplined, women are supposed to be like this. And if you cross outside the line, we now throw even things like what the law now should how the law should apply. So I think it's just a matter of continuous creating awareness. And this case in particular has demonstrated it doesn't matter the morality. It doesn't matter the circumstances. It doesn't matter. This was a human being whose life was taken and literally not prescribed by any form of law.
Yeah. Right. As we conclude, are you mostly hopeful or skeptical? Yes, this was a win. It's one win that potentially would lead to justice and accountability. But then there's hundreds and thousands of other cases that have been shelved in courtrooms that perhaps we never get to hear what the outcome would be. So that raises a question about skepticism with especially gender sensitive cases within our legal system. What's your view on that as we conclude?
I mean, definitely, this case has multiple approaches to it. It has definitely a positive in terms of lobbying for hope for those ones who might have felt that you've been violated by someone who's powerful, so justice cannot be accorded to you. So it gives some sort of that cushion to those victim survivors to look at it and say, if that person can actually get justice, I am confident that if I take that one step, I can get some sort of justice. But of course, then definitely looking at it on the flip side, it just looks at also how it translates to the society, because if this judgment is not broken down for people to understand, it goes beyond the late Sharon. Definitely justice was accorded to her, but how now do we translate our systems? How now do we translate these systems that we want the people to respond to? How does investigation look like? How do the police transform the investigation? How do the prosecution transform how they handle matters? How do the courts transform how they hear and listen to these cases? So it's just a matter of course, taking lessons from this case and seeing opportunities that you can apply to transform the whole justice system to be able to, because it has to start from somewhere. We have to have a foundation, because we are trying to, of course, the mindset of people are changed to understand on violence against women and girls, violence, gender-based violence, and how best to respond. We can start from there and seeing that you don't have to be taking awareness. If you spot someone is in some sort of danger, how can you support them to access services in offices, in departments, institutions that can, of course, respond to their issues? So I think it's just a matter of first appreciating what the judgment has done in terms of just creating hope. I don't think we can't take it for granted, because and I'm sure to many young girls, young women who have undergone all sorts of gender-based violence, it has given them that hope. But I think beside that hope, you have to translate what that hope means for them by ensuring we have systems that are responsive and they are better to support them when they come out.
Wow. Have you been satisfied by the media coverage of this? Because as it is, we tend to be very sensational, especially in the media, where one case comes and then we move on to the next big headline. And I think that also undermines the magnitude of such cases.
I mean, yes, the media definitely has played a role. Like I mentioned even at the beginning, this is a femicide. To be honest, they were happening and the way they were being reported. And over the years, we've seen that gender sensitive reporting has actually taken place in terms where media persons are able to, of course, be sensitive in how they report these issues. But definitely, they have played a role to paint a picture into how this thing is a crisis and how, of course, we need to teach it as a crisis. But of course, elements of course, how to dignify the system. Because I remember even that day when the case came, you see, it's practical to, of course, have the family digest, because this is news that they might not have really expect. But of course, you can see that there was that what is called demand of having interviews to get their their gray, I don't know if I say gray or their immediate reaction, but we really also can't just try to, of course, shift them, but definitely media advocacy has really played an important role to create awareness, to give the historical background, to give that picture for people to really understand. And it's definitely, and even what is happening right now, I'm sure that people, of course, are listening to just try and understand what does it mean for this case. And through the media, it's helping at least to break down to understand those concepts that we are talking about.
Okay. Finally, how do people get in touch with FIDA in case they need the legal aid,
Yes. So FIDA, we currently have 3 offices. We have the Nairobi office, which serves, of course, the Nairobi region, Kiambu region, and partly the Eastern Province. And then we have our Kisumu office, which is based in Kisumu, but you can still go to our website. It serves the Western and Nyanza Province counties. And then we have the coastal region, which of course have the coast counties. But our numbers are 0800 720 501. FIDA Kenya is currently organizing a walk that is scheduled on 27th August. And this walk is just call for, of course, people to come out to really support the work that we do in terms of responding to GBV. So I'll be able to share the poster with you. You can engage with your listeners and they can support in any way. And it's just a call of action for us to really embrace our prevention and response mechanism and to just call on the society to really look at this thing as an issue because and how we look at it, when one woman is killed, when one girl is killed, it affects the society in different ways. So it's just a matter of us to have that unity, to call our supportive system, and to support, of course, the victims, survivors who have undergone GBV by ensuring that FIDA is well funded to respond to some of these issues. And we continue to support more families like the late Sharon's family, how we've been supporting. So it's a work that we're welcoming everyone. It's going to take place on Saturday, that is 27th August. So look out for that poster and we welcome everyone to participate.
Sure. Parting shot. Your closing remarks?
What I can say is that the fight to GBV is not something that you can do alone. It's not a woman's issue. It's a society issue that all of us need to center ourselves in how you respond, in your capacity as a man, in your capacity as a boy, in your capacity as a girl, in your capacity as a law enforcer, in your capacity as a judge, in your capacity as a prosecutor, in your capacity as a media person, in your capacity as yourself. Center yourself in a way in what you can make as a difference. So I think from my end, that is my parting shot. And to appreciate our 254 for the opportunity to reflect on this and we look for so many engagements. My name has been Letitia Mwavishi, and thank you. Look out for social media for more engagement in how we respond to GBV.
Wow, that's a powerful way to end it. Thank you so much for your time and all the best in, I don't know, perhaps revolutionizing the legal system. We need reforms to gender sensitive rule of law. Asante sana for your insights and for your time.
Thank you and have a good morning.
All right. Right. That has been our time with Letitia Mwavishi there from FIDA Kenya, giving us a gender lens onto the Sharon Otieno case. And I think this really is a conversation that cannot end here. But we definitely do want to end it here for today's show. I think, and I will see you on Friday. Thank you so much for joining us.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio. Alexis on the beat.
Wewe nani unanipigia simu kama nani? Eti niachane mume wako nani? Unajua Nadia kweli mimi nani? Wewe ni nani unampigia simu kama nani? Hata utoe vya ndani atarudi hapa kwangu tu nyumbani. Anapenda vidogodogo, mwenzako anavimumunya. Mwanamke unapenda zogo, tafuta jambo hilo la kufanya. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Ni wangu. Kubali yaishe ni wangu.
hanishtui, atachoka nawe, wengine aende, yule hakagui.
Kelele ya chura haizui ng'ombe kunywa maji. Kwangu habanduki, kwako hatoboki, na kwa maana ye
anapenda wife material, mwenzako anakudanganya. Mwanamke una kasoro, tafuta jambo hilo la kufanya. Oh, ni wangu, huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu, mwisho yataisha ni wangu.
oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Kubali yaishe ni wangu. Mi sitakoma, koma, koma, koma. Mi sitakoma, koma, koma, mama.
Ntakukomboa, komboa, komboa, komboa. Ntakukomboa, komboa, komboa, msichana we. Oh, ni wangu, huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu, mwisho yataisha ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Kubali yaishe ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu, huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu, mwisho yataisha ni wangu.
Oh, ni wangu. Huyo nasema ni wangu. Oh, ni wangu. Kubali yaishe ni wangu.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Jones in the place. Rabbit. Teamwork. Let's get it.
From outer space, out of this world, we come in peace, tell your master all. We are taking over this place right now. But bring the crew, you can let them know. We in town, they should dress up for the show. We are bringing down this town tonight, oh. In an African party, we stomp our feet on the ground. We raise our hands in the air and say, hey, hey, hey. Ruka, leo hatulali jo. Dunda, asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu. Ruka, leo hatulali jo. Dunda, asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu.
Imagine, hivyo ndo muingianga kwa klabu au jasikia tunakula life na adabu na masela sela. Wana hela hela umenijazka hiu mase hela hela ni jui basi tela tela ni king kaka king of Zamunda. Tuko ndani na tumedunga kaka clothing Obado mtumba. Mina manager tuko tight anajua mini spend thrift. Meza drinks nimezipanga kama Tetris.
In an African party, we stomp our feet on the ground. We raise our hands in the air and say, hey, hey, hey. Ruka, leo hatulali jo. Dunda, asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu. Ruka, leo hatulali jo. Dunda, asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu.
Bro, check it, yo, I go like boom, 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 boom. Mikono kwa hewa nikifika tu kwa boom, 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 boom. As I be rolling when I be the cruiser, boom, boom. Get out the way, I'm feeling like money today. I'm here to pour it up all over the club, I'm willing to pay, so That's our plan to go and tap it. Hey y'all, feed what up, let's make it happen. I'm here to get it crackin'. Shorties are telling me that I'm attractive, cause they be feeling the swag, I'm classic. Call me Papa Jones, and that's it. That's it. I'm on.
Leo hatulali jo asubuhi mpaka kesho jo washanale mademu na machali tu usijali hali uona juu leo hatulali jo asubuhi mpaka kesho jo washanale mademu na machali tu